Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and watching one of my videos. I do want to apologize for the echo. I feel like the sound quality in some of my more recent videos has been off and it's going to be off for just a little while longer. We are doing some unexpected work in the room where I film. We got some water in our house and we had to rip up the floorboards, kind of tear out some of the walls. So it's been a whole thing and I'm just trying to film among the chaos, so I feel like there is a little bit of an echo. So I apologize for that in advance if you notice it, but I still wanted to sit down and film, and I have a really fun video idea today. This is actually inspired by Kelly Gooch. She filmed this video and I loved it, so I wanted to do my own version. I'll link Kelly's video and her channel in the description box below. If you guys are not already subscribed, you will love Kelly so much. She is one of my favorites. She has been for years. She films so many good videos all about cruelty-free beauty products, and she came up with this idea sharing 20 best products from 20 drugstore brands, and I loved it. I love focusing on drugstore makeup, chatting about my favorite products, so I wanted to do my own version. I chose 20 drugstore and affordable brands. A lot of these can be found at the actual drugstore. Some are at Ulta, Target, but they're all drugstore prices. And I'm going to share my #1 favorite from each brand. This was kind of hard to choose my #1 favorite, but I did it. I'm going to go with it and share my thoughts with you guys in today's video. So let's jump into it. So let me start with a couple of my go-to drugstore brands. I think it was a little bit more difficult to narrow it down to like the #1 product from these brands because they make so many of my favorites. So let's kick it off with NYX. NYX has definitely become one of my top brands over the last few years. They release so many high quality products. Their lip products are amazing. Their primers are so good, but I have to say I really love their brow products. They have been my go-to brand when it comes to brow products in general because they make really good formulas at more affordable price points. I love their brow pencil, I love their brow pen, but I think I have to go with this product, the NYX Thick It Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara. This is such a high quality product. It's so interesting to me because it makes a difference, like an immediate difference. The first time I used this, I was filming a Get Ready With Me, and you could see such a noticeable difference between my natural brow and then the brow where I applied this product. And I still continue to use it all the time. I especially love using this on days when I'm wearing more minimal makeup because I don't typically go for such a bold brow. I'll usually want something a little bit more subtle, and this is such a quick, easy product to use. You just comb it through your brows, it locks them into place, but it also makes your brows look really full. It makes it look like you put a lot more effort into doing your brows than you actually did. So such a great option, especially if you have really sparse, thin brows. The next brand I want to go with is Milani. Milani is quickly becoming one of my favorites. I've tried a lot of their products over the last few years, and I feel like Milani makes high-end formulas at drugstore prices a lot of the time. So it was tough for me because some of their new releases have been absolute staples. The lip oils, I wear those all the time. Their anti-gravity mascara has been a favorite. I love their concealer. I love their baked bronzer. I love their cream blushes, but I think I have to go with their baked blushes. This is just such a gorgeous formula. I recently purchased a new shade, so this one is not the new one. This one is Berry Amore. This is kind of like one of my go-to shades. Actually, I have the new shade right here. It's called Sunset Passion. It's such a beautiful shade. If you have been thinking about trying the Bare Minerals bronzers, but you want a more affordable alternative, try this one because this definitely gives you like that beautiful, warm-toned, sun-kissed look. And I love this formula because it's so lightweight, it's so soft and pretty on the skin, but you can definitely build it up, especially if you go with a shade like this. I feel like I tend to go in with a light hand, but if you are looking for a more vibrant blush, you could easily build it up and get something really intense on the cheeks as well. This is such a good formula. I think it's such a good alternative to the Hourglass formula, which I do really like, but those are very, very expensive, and these are $10. I really had such a hard time choosing the #1 product from e.l.f. and I'm not completely confident in my decision, to be honest with you, because there are so many products that I love. I think I've loved e.l.f. for like 15 years at this point. They've been my favorite drugstore brand ever since they were releasing like $1 and $3 products, and they're a little bit more expensive these days, but it's been so cool to see them evolve and come out with so many high quality products. And I love that they are so popular now because I just enjoy the brand as a whole. So I almost went with the Power Grip Primer, but I feel like that's too new of a product for me to share in today's video. I also love the new powder foundation. That one's amazing. Their eyeshadows are so good. Their cheek products are amazing, but I think I have to go with this one. This is the e.l.f. Wow Brow Gel. It's another brow product. It's not quite the same as the NYX Brow Gel. They're very different formulas. If you want more of a natural formula, I do recommend the e.l.f. It's a very lightweight formula, so it's not necessarily going to lock your brows into place all day long, like the NYX one. The NYX one is very, very strong. You know how when it comes to hairspray, there's like extra strong hold or like a natural hold? The NYX one is at the very top, and the e.l.f. one probably falls more in the middle. It holds my brows into place, but I feel like they look a little bit more natural. I love this because it has fibers in it, so it does give them some added volume, and I've gone through a ton of these. I don't even honestly know because I've repurchased it over and over throughout the years. So if you're looking for more of a natural brow gel that still gives your brows a little bit of volume, a little definition, this is a great option. But I don't know, I feel like there are like 10 other e.l.f. products I could have mentioned in today's video. This is just the first one that really came to mind as something that I've loved enough to buy over and over again. I feel like a lot of drugstore brands are raising their prices and they're getting a little more expensive. Like some brands almost charge mid-range prices for their drugstore products. And I will say the quality as a whole seems to have improved, but one brand that keeps it really affordable is LA Girl. I really enjoy LA Girl products. Some of their products have replaced high-end products in my collection, and I think my number one product from the brand would be their eyeliners. I used to purchase the Urban Decay 24/7, what's the full name? 24/7 Glide On eye pencils, and I still have a lot of them just from accumulating them over the years, and I think they are really, really good. But now when I want like a specific shade that I don't have, instead of purchasing one of those, I purchase one of these. These are under $5, and in my opinion, they feel the exact same as Urban Decay. I almost like them a little bit better because they are a little bit creamier. So I'll wear these on the waterline. I'll also use them to just line my eyes because they're really, really smooth, very easy to work with. And I just feel like after trying these, I really don't feel like I need to run out and buy an eyeliner that costs like $20, even $10, because these are under $5. Essence is another brand that has remained really affordable over the years. I think the majority of their products are under $5, which can be so difficult to find. I just started a TikTok series. I did it last summer, but I wanted to do an updated version sharing my favorite products under $5. And a lot of the products in those videos are from the same brands, like LA Girl, e.l.f., Essence, because those are brands that do tend to have more affordable options, but it's really hard to find makeup under $5 these days. So Essence remains one of my favorites for that reason. But it's not just that they are affordable, it's that their products are high quality. I mean, there are some hits and misses as with any brands, and there are some products from Essence that haven't worked for me, but one thing I think they do so well would be mascara. Essence has a million different mascaras. They have so many, but I think when it comes down to it, my favorite line from them is just their Lash Princess line. At this point, I think they have like 4 or 5 different Lash Princess mascaras. I've tried them all. I think they're all really good, to be honest with you, but they do very different things. So my favorite just all around Lash Princess mascara is the Curl and Volume, because this one gives you a ton of drama. It lifts your lashes, but it also gives you length, even though it's not advertised as a lengthening mascara. This is such a good mascara. Honestly, I haven't tried a lot of high-end mascaras that actually beat this one, and it's $5. Their entire Lash Princess line is so good. I've repurchased these over and over. I continue to keep them in my makeup collection because they never really let me down. So I had to go with these, but there are a lot of Essence products I love. I love their powder. I love their lip liners. I love their $4 eyeshadow palettes. Those are so good. I wear those all the time. So really the brand as a whole makes some of my favorites, but they do have some misses too. I wanted to do the Ulta Beauty in-house brand because their products are more drugstore priced, and I think it is just an underrated brand as a whole. I personally hadn't tried a lot of their products until maybe like 2 years ago. When I joined the Ulta Beauty Collective, that's when I was trying a lot of their products because they were sending some as PR, and I was just curious as a whole, so I did purchase them myself. And I found that a lot of them were so good and just not very talked about. So I definitely recommend checking out the brand if you haven't already. I was going to mention their lip jellies because I love those so much. They're like this gel lip balm that looks so pretty. They're sheer, but they're comfortable. They have like a fruity scent, and I love them. But at the very last minute, I changed my mind because I saw this when I was getting ready. This is the Ulta Beauty 3-in-1 Cheek Palette. They have a couple of different options. I have California Sunlight, which I think is the lightest one. So this comes with a bronzer, a highlighter, and a blush. I think this formula is very similar to Hourglass. It's definitely a more affordable alternative. I like that it's a 3-in-1. A few years ago, I was just not a big fan of products that had like 3-in-1s or 2-in-1s, but these days I just find they're so quick and easy. It's nice to be able to multitask and just pull out one palette for my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight. and then sometimes I'll use it as eyeshadow as well. So I love this formula because it's very, very smooth, really easy to work with. It's a little bit powdery, but very blendable on the cheeks. And again, you get everything in one place. We are going to the beach with my family in about a week, like a week and a half, and I need to pack my travel makeup bag, and I think I'll bring this with me just because it is so quick and easy to use, and I love that it's a multitasking palette. Flower Beauty has a ton of great options. I feel like I've seen Flower Beauty in a lot of dupes videos because I think a lot of their formulas feel like high-end formulas and more affordable price points, and they've been doing just really gorgeous formulas for a long time. I almost mentioned the Light Illusion Foundation because I love that so much. I've also loved their highlight palette for years at this point. I use their bronzer almost every single day, although I misplaced mine, so I've been using the ColourPop bronzer, which I don't love as much, but I do like that one too. Anyway, it was hard for me to narrow it down when it comes to Flower Beauty, but I wanted to mention this. I think this is the best product from the brand, and I know I've mentioned it in like half my videos in 2022, but the Desert Lights eyeshadow palette is a must-have if you love eyeshadow that has like that liquid metal look on the eyes. You guys are the ones that convinced me to buy this, and I just love it. It is becoming one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow formulas. It's gorgeous. It really, really is, and I feel like you can just tell by looking at it. And when I got it in person, I knew that I was going to like it. Like, I think online, it doesn't translate. It doesn't look as good online as it does in person. These shadows are just so rich, super intense. This is the ultimate metallic eyeshadow formula. It's so good. The only one that doesn't really show up metallic on the eyes is the darker brown one, but that one is perfect for a smoky eye because it is so rich and intense. I just love this. I think that this feels like a high-end formula. It's an $18 palette, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it breaks down to be $3 an eyeshadow. And again, you can get this brand on sale fairly often at Ulta. Let me talk about ColourPop next. So ColourPop makes a lot of my staples, like the products that I purchase over and over. Their lip liners are my go-to lip liners. I have a ton of them. They really do work so well. I love their Pretty Fresh foundation, their new Pretty Fresh powder. They tend to do a lot of products that I fall in love with and have a hard time replacing. But I think the number one product from ColourPop, it's an older one, and I feel like it's a little bit of an overlooked one, would be their Super Shock Shadows. Now again, I know I talk about these in a lot of my videos as well, but you guys, they're so good. Was this their first launch? I can never remember if they came out with Super Shock Shadows or Lippy Sticks first, or if they came out with them at the same time. But I feel like their Super Shock Shadows and their Lippy Sticks aren't necessarily like their biggest sellers because people tend to prefer more of a traditional eyeshadow formula or more of a traditional lipstick formula or packaging. But the Super Shock Shadows still, in my opinion, are ColourPop's best product because, again, kind of similar to Flower Beauty, these are so intense and gorgeous on the eyes. Now, it depends which formula you go with because they do have like matte finishes, pearlized finishes. The Ultra Glitter, I think that's what they're called, finishes are the best because they're so sparkly, so intense on the eyes, and nothing looks like a Super Shock Shadow. I mean, that's a dumb thing to say because the Flower Beauty shadows do look like these. They're kind of similar, but there's just something about these that looks so good on the eyes. They're so easy to work with, and I'll never not have them in my collection. I wanted to include a Pixi in today's video. I feel like Pixi is maybe more of a mid-range price brand, but they are sold at Target, so I just kind of lumped them into the drugstore category. And Pixi tends to be very hit and miss for me. Their skincare products tend to be more of a hit, and their makeup products tend to be more of a miss. I actually just included 2 of their products in my worst makeup of 2022 video, but I do have a favor. I tried this one last year and I still love it. This is the Pixi Makeup by Denise Mind Your Own Glow palette. So it comes with 9 different products. Now I think this is mainly meant to be like a highlight palette, but I use it for highlight, I use it for blush, I also use it for eyeshadow. It's a little bit of a larger palette, it's $18, but again, you get 9 products in here. They're pretty large products, like you could definitely fit a blush brush right in them. This is like a contour brush, but just for reference, this would fit in here really well. Typically, I will, like I said, use them for highlights or blushes, but I also like to use my finger and apply them to the eyes as eyeshadow, and I really like this formula. I like these because they don't look overly intense. They're more of a creamy formula, so I feel like they blend into the skin in a really pretty way. So Catrice used to be sold at Ulta, and I'm still sad they left Ulta because I feel like their products were a little more easily accessible. I know they are sold on Amazon, and I have gotten a few products from Amazon, but I've also just purchased directly from the Catrice website because I do enjoy a lot of their products. So my number one product from Catrice is still this one. I recommend this one all the time to people in my real life and on YouTube as well, but I just think this is such a good foundation, really no matter what skin type you have. It's the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I'm wearing this today, although I feel like I am kind of having a bad makeup day today. I tested out some new products, I'm wearing some older staples, and everything it's just not necessarily sitting that well together. A lot of their products are really, really great, but this one truly does feel like a high-end foundation, and I think it's maybe $11. It just looks really good on the skin. It wears really well. I like this because it's kind of customizable. So you could totally sheer it out with a damp beauty sponge and get more of like a sheer lightweight coverage, or you could build it up and get more of a full coverage look. And I just find that it wears well on the skin. The whole claim behind this is that it looks like skin, and I think sometimes when brands claim that their foundation is a skin-like foundation, it's a very light coverage foundation. And honestly, I almost trust the claim of this more because it's easy for a light coverage foundation to look like skin because it's not adding any coverage to the skin, whereas this one adds coverage and still looks skin-like. It doesn't look like you're wearing a heavy, cakey layer of makeup. So I really love this. I think it's such a nice option. It's really been my most worn foundation since I tried it last spring, and I just recently repurchased it because I went all the way through it. Another brand that's sold at Target that's a little bit newer to me is Jason Wu. I haven't tried a ton of Jason Wu products. I think I've tried maybe like 4 or 5, but my number one product from the brand is the Stay in Line lip pencil. Honestly, I haven't purchased a high-end lip liner in years because there are so many good options from drugstore brands. Essence makes amazing ones. I also love the LA Girl ones. ColourPop makes some of my favorites, but I also really enjoy this formula. First of all, this is a very big lip pencil. This just feels really long. I would have to go online to look up the details because I'm not sure exactly how much you get, but if it is a shade you wear over and over, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a longer lip pencil because you won't have to repurchase it as often. This is $10, and I like this because some lip liners are very creamy and they don't lock your lipstick into place, and some lip liners are really dry and they're hard to apply, but they do hold your lipstick into place. I feel like this one is the best of both worlds. It's creamy, but not overly creamy, and it is long lasting. This is not my perfect shade. I have the shade My Angel. It's like a very, very light nude, but I've actually been using this with lipsticks that are a little bit too dark for me because I feel like it lightens them up a little bit. So it's actually worked out perfectly. I am curious to maybe pick up another one in a shade that I'll wear all the time, but I love this formula. You really don't have to spend a ton of money on a lip liner. There are so many good, affordable options. So this is probably my number one Jason Wu product out of everything I've tried so far. My number one CoverGirl product was tough, not because I had so many favorites that I couldn't narrow it down, but because as I was scrolling through their products online, I really didn't have a ton of favorites from the brand. I used to love their foundations, but I feel like I have such a hard time finding like the undertone that actually matches my skin in their foundation. So I don't know, maybe I just need to go in person and purchase some CoverGirl products rather than trying to order online. But I did have one that I love. It would definitely be their Exhibitionist mascara, which I don't currently have, so I'll put a picture for you guys on the screen. I used this one up, and then I'm sure I repurchased something else because I do tend to rotate through different mascara formulas instead of like using the same one over and over. I think a few years ago that was my number one mascara of the year. That one does such a great job at adding a lot of volume. It has like a curved hourglass wand. It's a really nice formula, very buildable, really dramatic. I want to try some more CoverGirl products. I recently picked up their pressed powder because I actually heard Kelly Gooch talking about that, so I am going to test that out and maybe some of their lip products, but that is definitely like a staple CoverGirl product that I've repurchased a lot over the years, and I know I would still enjoy it if I were to try it again now. I actually don't have my Makeup Revolution product to share with you guys either. I gave it to someone who I thought would really enjoy it. They were over, we were doing makeup, I think it was one of my cousins, and I was like, just take that home, it looks really good on you, and I haven't repurchased it since then, but it's something that I absolutely love, and after I film this video, I'm going to add it to my cart on Ulta's website. Their I'm trying to think of the full name. Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation is so good. That looks so smooth on the skin. It has really good coverage. It's very, very lightweight, and I love that one so much. So I'm definitely adding that to my cart after I film this video. I haven't tried a ton of Makeup Revolution products. They have so many products, and they have a ton of lines. Actually, right in front of me, I have one from Makeup Revolution. This is the Line Fix Under Eye Primer. I'm trying this out for like an upcoming drugstore speed review style video. So I have this on today underneath my makeup, and I'll keep you guys posted. I like it, I do. I'm not completely convinced that it is an absolute staple yet. I want to continue to put it to the test, but I don't know. What are your favorite Makeup Revolution products? I've tried a good amount from them. Like if I sit down and think about it, I probably have tried more than I remember, but I don't have a ton of their products in my collection currently. So I think it's a brand that doesn't necessarily make products that become staples for me, but I do love that foundation. That is a really good option. I think JCat Beauty is an underrated brand. I really like their products. I think the packaging is very, very cheap, which I think can turn people off. If you're not used to buying drugstore makeup and you pick up a drugstore product compared to like a beautiful, luxurious, high-end product that comes in high-quality packaging, it might not feel very appealing. But I do think the JCat formulas that I've tried are really, really good. And their products do tend to be more affordable, like under $10. Anyway, that being said, my number one product from JCat Beauty has to be their eyeshadow palettes. I know I've talked about these like 25 times on my channel at this point, so I won't spend a ton of time on this. But this is an $8 eyeshadow palette that feels like a $50 eyeshadow palette. And I'm not even exaggerating. The formula is so good. I think I've said this in other videos, but I feel like this feels like a Natasha Denona formula, the shimmer formula. The matte formula is not quite there, but these shimmers are creamy, they're smooth, they're vibrant, intense. I honestly don't know how they charge $8 for this because I feel like it feels like it costs more to make. It's along the same lines as like the ColourPop Super Shock formula or the Flower Beauty Desert Lights formula. Very creamy, really intense on the eyes. You get a ton of color payoff, and I love that there are some really gorgeous, intense shimmers in here as well. This one is my favorite just because I think the formula is good and I love the color selection. So again, I know I've talked about them nonstop on my channel, but they really are like the number one JCat product I've tried. So let's talk about profusion. I was at Walmart the other day purchasing some new products, and my Walmart actually has a really good selection of profusion products, and I was ordering a lot from the website, but I think now I'm going to stop in and check them out more often at Walmart because they actually had a lot of the new products as well. Profusion makes a lot of really great makeup products, but my number one recommendation from Profusion would definitely be their brushes. I actually need to wash like all of my makeup brushes, so I'll put a picture on the screen for you guys of some of my favorites. But I actually just placed an order on Profusion's website maybe like a month ago with more brushes because I use their brushes so much that when I need to wash them and they're like in a tray of brushes that I need to wash, I miss them because they really are my staple brushes. The eye brushes are typically like $4. The face brushes are maybe $6, and they last so well. Like I feel like I've had some of these for years at this point, and I love the way they blend out product. I feel like I get such a smooth look every single time, and I love a lot of their face brushes for cream products. This one is their angled powder brush. So they obviously market as a powder brush, but I love using it for cream contour. So if you haven't tried Profusion brushes, I definitely recommend them. I'm trying to think if my Walmart actually had the brushes there because I ordered mine online. I think if you order online, they do have bundles where you can get them for an even better price point if you purchase like a bundle of 3 of them. But if you're looking for affordable brushes that work really well, definitely check out Profusion. As far as makeup goes, I love their lip oils. I think their eyeshadows are really nice. I recently tried some of their brow products that have worked well. Their liquid shadows are gorgeous. They have so many good options. And again, a lot of their products are under $10 and even under $5. Actually, I wanted to include Real Techniques in today's video. I did include 2 brush brands, Real Techniques and Eco Tools, because I think when it comes to drugstore brands, they make really, really good products. I picked up this set from Real Techniques not too long ago that actually came with 4 of my favorite Real Techniques brushes. I think it was like their everyday essential set. It also came with the Real Techniques sponge, which I've loved for years. But this set is such a good option if you've been curious about Real Techniques because you get a powder brush. You also get a brush that's really nice for foundation or cream cheek products. There's a smaller brush that I love to use for eyeshadow or concealer, and then another one that's great for setting the under eyes or applying highlighter. So I guess my number one product is more of like an actual set from Real Techniques, but I definitely recommend checking it out because you get so many staples. But I think if I had to narrow it down to like my number one Real Techniques brush, it would be their Expert Face Brush, just because you could use this in so many different ways. I typically love to use it for foundation, but I'll also use it to blend out concealer. I'll use it for cream contour, cream blush, and it's just such a good staple brush that can be used in a ton of different ways, and it's affordable. While we are on the topic of brushes, my number one favorite from Eco Tools is like their large fluffy powder brush. Again, I'm in the process of washing my brushes, so I think that one's actually upstairs, but this one is so perfect as like an all over powder brush or as a fluffy bronzer brush because it gives you like such a gorgeous diffused look. If you're using it with bronzer, you can just dust it all over your face, and it just kind of gives you more of a natural bronze rather than a really precise application, which for me, sometimes I have a tendency to go overboard with bronzer, kind of like I did today. Like I said, I'm having a bad makeup day, and if I used my Eco Tools bronzer brush, it would have been perfect. But again, that one's great for all over powder as well. My number one hard candy product is this primer. It is the Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer. I love this one because it is a gripping primer, but it's very, very lightweight compared to other gripping primers. There are so many levels when it comes to gripping primers. Some of them are so sticky and so tacky, and I can see why people wouldn't like that because as you apply your foundation, it almost feels like your face is sticky. This one has like a slight tackiness to it, but it's not too over the top. It's also very, very hydrating. So I do find that my skin feels really hydrated, but it also extends the wear of my makeup when I use this one. But again, it's not as intense as like the e.l.f. Power Grip or the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. It's definitely a lot lighter and a lot softer on the skin. Like you don't get such an intense tackiness. Would you consider Winky Lux to be drugstore or high-end? I guess they're kind of more of like one of those mid-range prices, but I wanted to include them in today's video because they are sold at Ulta and at Target. They have a lot of really pretty products. I feel like a lot of the Winky Lux products I've tried, I've gotten in subscription boxes. When I was subscribed to BoxyCharm, I did get a lot of Winky Lux products in my box. So I've tried their eyeshadows, I've tried some of their lip products. Whenever I'm at Target and I walk by the display, I want to pick up one of their blushes. I need to try one of those out because they're so pretty. But my number one Winky Lux product is their lip oil. Mine's actually in my purse, which is in my car, which is not here right now because my husband has it. Otherwise, I would show it to you guys. But the lip oil is so beautiful on the lips. It's shiny, it's hydrating. Sometimes when it comes to lip oils, I feel like they can be easily duped by a drugstore brand, but there's something about this one. It's extra luxurious, extra plush on the lips. It's so hydrating, so glossy and comfortable, and I feel like it provides long-lasting hydration throughout the day. Sometimes with lip oils, after that initial layer wears off, it feels like your lips are dry or completely bare, but this one feels really good throughout the day. So I definitely recommend their lip oil. A little more expensive for a lip oil, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it. I typically just keep that one on my nightstand, but it's currently in my purse because I feel like I sometimes like to bring it with me. The issue with like my favorite lip products is I tend to lose them because I'll keep them in my purse, and then if I'm not carrying my purse, which happens a lot these days, I'll put it in my pocket or I'll throw it in my car. So I feel like that's one I just need to keep at home because that's something I love to keep on my lips when I'm not wearing any other lip product. The last brand that I wanted to mention is Ardell. I had a hard time coming up with 20 drugstore makeup brands, but I wanted to do 20. So I included a couple of like tools, and I also wanted to include Ardell as well. Ardell has a lot of good products, and I've been trying out more of their products recently. I've kind of been getting back into wearing false lashes. My number one product from Ardell would definitely be the Demi Wispies. I'm wearing these on my eyes today. I love these because they just add a little something extra to your look. This is a multi-pack. This is actually a 6-pack of Demi Wispies. You can purchase them individually as well, but I love these lashes because they're not over the top. I'm not a big fan of really dramatic over the top lashes these days. I feel like they're kind of uncomfortable on my eyes, and I feel like they almost do a little bit too much for me. Sometimes I just want something a little extra without being too over the top, and these are perfect. They're also very, very easy to work with. If you are new to false lashes or you don't want to spend a ton of time like getting your lash to stay in place, because these are so lightweight, they don't really lift on the corners compared to other brands, and they're not uncomfortable. Like I can wear these all day and forget that I have them on. So I wanted to share them in today's video just because I feel like I don't really talk about lashes a ton on my channel, and It's probably because I haven't worn them as much over the last few years, but I have been enjoying them a lot lately. Okay, that is everything I wanted to share with you guys in today's video. This was a long one. I've been filming for a while. I don't even know how long at this point because I had to stop a few times, but it's been a while, so I'm going to have to cut this down so we're not here forever when you guys actually sit down and watch. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll link Kelly's original video in the description box below so you guys can check it out. And I'll link everything that I mentioned in case you want to check out any of these products. But I have a ton of drugstore related videos on my channel, so I'll put a couple of my recent ones on the screen for you guys in case you want to watch them. But I will see you guys very soon with a new one. Bye.